This is Colleen.
And this is Margaret.
And we're the Cousinsweird. And we're not together, just like we weren't together for your Monday episode.
Because we record them on the same day.
Record back to back. So, we're on Terrible Trends 23. So,
and I'm sweltering in my house in front of a fan, so if you hear any background, it's just because if I turn the fan off, I might die. I'll become a puddle in my chair, and it would be bad.
It's so hot and dumb, and we're doing this late, so excuse us for our hysteria. Because we're a little loopy
today. Yeah, I got caught in the rain today. Like, I drove home, and it's like, I drove when it started. I'm like, oh shit, it's raining. And I get home, and it's pouring, and I'm like, I'm not gonna wait out here for it. Like, so I grabbed all my stuff, I had gone to the grocery store, and I've run into the house, and it's a deluge, and I get to my house, I get inside, and I am dripping wet. Like,
they were giant,
like, all the way through to my underwear. I had to change my underwear. It was that wet, and my clothes, I had to hang them up because they were dripping wet. I could wring them out.
Yeah, I bet. The raindrops are giant.
You can see my hair. This is because my hair got wet. I just got my hair cut yesterday, and yeah, it's fun. And then like 15 minutes later, it stopped. I'm like, of course.
We had a tornado watch. Or still have a tornado watch, I think.
It was like heavy out.
The air is heavy. Ugh.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Anyway. Terrible Trends 23, Margaret.
Woohoo!
This is one. I'd like to do one. I did poop. I did pee. This is in that vein of things.
Is it vomit?
Okay. No. But it has to do with poop.
Oh, yay. Fun.
Enemas.
Oh, yay!
Have been around since ancient Egypt. The Egyptians believed that the decaying matter in your colon would enter your body and make you very sick. So you needed to get it out of you faster than your body was doing it. And constipation was the worst thing that could happen to you. They originally performed enemas by sitting in a river and using a hollow reed to direct the water up their butt.
Oh, that reminds me of a story from our youth. I won't get into it.
Oh, God, no. Yeah. It had nothing to do with us. It didn't have, we were not the people in the story.
A young friend who, he liked to sit on his forceful. There was a water sprinkle that was a clown with a hat, and you turn it on, and the water pours the hat up. Yeah, and it would shoot the hat up. And he liked to sit on the water pressure part. Yeah. Hey, you should sit on this. No, you shouldn't.
So eventually the Pharoahs had their own specialized servant, and their name was the Guardian of the Anus. Not to be confused with the Guardians of the Galaxy. No. Nay. The Guardians of the Anus.
I need that on a shirt.
And they have like a parody of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes. People would probably think it's some terrible porno.
I know. It sounds like it. Enemas were called clysters in the 17th century, which was a Greek word for wash. Sounds better.
Clyster.
Is it clyster?
I always thought it was clyster, but I could be wrong.
It probably is clyster, because you know how to say things better. Throughout history, people would use water, herbal mixtures, molasses, milk, turpentine, honey, beer, soap, wine.
Beer gets you drunk if you...
Yeah.
Soap?
Soap, wine, oil. Can you imagine oils up in there? Turpentine? No!
The oil keeps everything moving real good.
They felt that, enemas were a cure-all for things like TB, hernias, depression, appendicitis, headaches, obesity, breathing issues, fever, sexual dysfunction. You name it, a clyster could cure it.
Well, if you give someone enough enemas, they probably would lose weight because they wouldn't be retaining any nutrients.
Exactly.
Not in a good way.
Once they got past the river in the reed enema, there were hollow gourds, tube-shaped bones, and animal bladders used. And then there were also people known as blowers who would give an oral push to get the fluid into the rectum. I don't want that job!
Me neither.
Who signs up for that?
All I can think of is Spaceballs. She's gone from suck to blow. Don't go from blow to suck.
Don't do it.
It's bad.
Yeah. People believed in the concept of auto-intoxication, which was the feces, which was full of toxins, and it could poison you from the insides, basically, causing all sorts of sicknesses and bad things to happen to you. So your own poo-poo is killing you from the inside. You need to get it out. Don't let it stay in there.
If you didn't crap for a week or two, then I would definitely say yes.
Right.
But me, myself, I like to maintain I'm a nice, regular, everyday kind of girl.
Daily constitution?
Maybe more than once a day, I'm like, if you eat 3 meals a day, you should have 3 movements a day. Now everybody has too much information about Margaret and her poopscapades.
Her foul movement.
My poopscapades.
In the 1700s, Johann Kampf proclaimed that illness came from impacted feces, and you need to expel them with an enema so you don't get sick. In the 17th century, enema jugs were all the rage, and everyone had one in their home. They were popular because King Louis XIV loved them. And it said that he had 2,000 of them performed on him in his lifetime.
Oh, God. No.
At this time, nobility was known to have them done 3 times a day to maintain their health, because it was the only way to stay healthy was to have an enema.
Well, they also had a terrible diet, and they ate, especially in France, they ate like rich food all day, and then no fiber, so they didn't shit for days, probably.
Right, so they had to do it. There was a Duchess, Burgundy, and she had a servant that would duck under her skirt to give her enema while she was talking to the king.
Oh, God.
Can you imagine if you were her servant?
Okay, there's a time and a place for things like that, but, like, it's all that stuff that's going in is not coming out.
And what's that poor servant doing underneath there?
Oh, God.
Imagine it.
That's awful.
And can you imagine you're sitting there in the court? Well, she's in there getting, and all of a sudden you're like, ooh, what's that smell? What's happening? But she was very modest. No one saw. She kept her skirt down. Oh, they smelled it all right.
I bet they did.
I know.
That servant who was up under her skirts got a nice view.
They're right in their face. Oh my goodness. People in the 1800s were also obsessed with colon cleaning, and they feared constipation. Like, having constipation was the worst thing that could happen to you, which I agree. I don't want it.
They were eating the calomel then, too. That's what they used the mercury salts for, too.
Their fear was that their poop was poisoning them from the inside, that auto-intoxication. So there were many people who took advantage of this fear to make money, obviously. There was a man named Alcinous Burton Jameson. He had something called the Eager Colon Cleanser.
It's eager.
Yeah. He had a horseshoe-shaped device called the Eternal Fountain Bath.
Sounds bad.
And he used his customers' fears so that they wanted him to perform the enemas on them. And he would strap them to an inversion table and use the devices and he would make a lot of money doing it. Like, he'd strap them down, tilt them backwards.
Flip them upside down.
And then flip them back.
Fill them up.
And let her out.
empty him out.
There was a doctor then named Dr. Young. He invented the rectal dilate.
Oh, that sounds bad.
Was a way to cure constipation, he said. These were short, phallus-shaped rods of increasing sizes. And inserting them, you could slowly dilate your rectum and never get constipated. And it also was used to cure hemorrhoids. Because when you have a hemorrhoid, shoving a rod in your butt is
I didn't hear that.
Oh, my God. No, thank you, sir, Dr. Young.
No. Aw. All our fans are missing out on this live.
I know,
It's a
right?
good one.
At the turn of the century, Dr. Tyrrell said he cured himself of paralysis using enemas. Because, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
He opened the Hygienic Institute in New York City. He said the cause of all disease was constipation, and enema was the only cure for that. He actually wasn't a doctor until after he opened his institute, and it was his late 50s. He decided to get his degree, but he called himself a doctor before that. And when he did get his degree, it wasn't a reputable school or anything. He just got like a certificate from somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
He said that you had to flush out the rotting miasmas from your gut. So this is our friend from childhood would like this device. Okay, ready? Most enemas at the time were a rubber bag attached to a tube and a nozzle like today's enemas would be, where they use gravity for it to go into your butt, right? Well, he invented the JBL Cascade. And do you want to know what JBL stands for, Margaret?
No, I don't.
Joy, beauty, and life. Cascade.
Oh, God.
Not a problem. This was a rubber bottle that held 5 quarts of liquid. There was a nozzle in the middle, and you would sit upon it and impale it into your bum.
Oh!
And their weight would force the liquid to explode into their butt, basically. And he said he recommended to do it at least 4 times a week, or as much as you pleased.
Oh, God. No.
Can you imagine? No, thank you. This
I'll
is not
pass.
that good.
No.
I know. In 1919, an article by Dr. Walter C. Alvarez debunked the idea of auto-intoxication, saying intestines were not porous and the toxins couldn't escape into your body and make you sick. That's not what made you sick. Now, poop on the outside in your food could, but not from internally. That can't happen. And he also said that the fluoride in your colon was actually beneficial and you needed it in your body, so stop trying to clean it out with soap and wine and beer and turpentine. In the early 1900s, the American Medical Association actually spoke out against using enemas. In 1920, German-born Dr. Max Gerson, however, continued to believe the importance of using an enema to cure everything. He said, in 1920, he said that cancer, too, could be cured by taking vegetable juice, vitamins, pancreatic enzymes, and a coffee castor oil enema. And then rectal ozone gas treatments. You know what that means? Margaret's just making a face and shaking her head vigorously. Now, the Gerson Institute is still around to this day, and they still speak out about using coffee enemas, and there's a lot of people that really believe, and they still feel like an alternative medicine people, like some, think that coffee enemas are very good.
I worked at a health food store for 10 years, and I had lots of people come and getting coffee. Just a little bit. I need a coffee enema. I'm like, okay.
There was one, you know that show, like, terrible, it was like bad addictions or weird addictions or something like that. People do weird stuff. There was this couple that had to work from home. They had to get jobs that work from home because they were giving themselves 20 coffee enemas a day. They go lay down in the bathroom together, and they'd shoot the coffee in their butt, and they'd lay there. I don't know. They both must have had 2 toilets. I don't know what they do, but anyway. So coffee enemas are still something that happen. In 1930s, most physicians had stopped recommending regular enema cleansing. But the public was slow to follow. They still liked their enemas. They're like, nope, gotta use them. It wasn't until the 1960s that people started slowing down a little bit with the enemas. Doctors now know that doing enemas too often can actually make your body become dependent on them. So probably people didn't stop doing them because they couldn't poop without them. You know what I mean? Like, once you use them a lot. It also said, like, way back in the day that women used to put water in their mouth and then blow it into the baby's butt.
No!
Yeah.
No. I love my babies. I would never... No. Even those devices that you use to suck the nose out, that you suck the end...
No.
I don't... Nope.
Not doing it.
I'll use the
swoosh swoosh thing. Yeah.
But I am not sucking snot out of my kid's nose either.
I can't even think about that. Okay. That's awful.
If that's how you float your boat, go for it.
That's what you do good. I'm not doing
for me. I can't. No.
I will not judge you, but you don't force it on me. People today, I mean, obviously people still use enemas. Sometimes you have to use an enema for certain things, like it happens. But you shouldn't overuse them, obviously, because it makes your body dependent on them. But people also do colon cleanses with colonics at special spas and clinics. And the people that do that are called colon hygienists. But they have zero medical training. There's no, I guess you should just open one of those up and do it. There's no, like, medical certification for being a colon hygienist.
Right.
So, one thing I just thought was interesting, that Hitler is said to use chamomile tea as an enema for cleansing and weight loss.
I can't believe you didn't mention Kellogg.
It didn't say anything about Kellogg.
He was the king of the yogurt enema. He loved to shove the yogurt up there.
They talked about putting some kind of oats up there at some point too, but I didn't put it down. I didn't read anything about Kellogg.
That was his thing. He liked the yogurt enemas.
What did he think it did for him?
I don't know, it was the Victorian age. Don't you remember that movie that came out? Matthew Broderick was in it. And Anthony Hopkins played Kellogg, and he was constantly giving himself yogurt enemas throughout it. He had a weird list. It was really funny.
No. I don't think I saw that.
Oh. I must look it up.
Now you have to Google it.
I do.
But, just like leeches, enemas were the thing you did. Mercury cure-all. Enemas cure-all.
The Road to Wellville
was the name of the movie?
Yes, it was in 1994. I can't believe you didn't watch that.
I don't think I did. Never. Oh, well, maybe I did. I don't remember.
It had in it, let's see here, Anthony Hopkins, Matthew Broderick, Bridget Fonda, Dana Carvey, John Cusack.
Was it a comedy?
Laura Flynn Boyd. It was.
I don't remember.
But it was based on, like, actual things that happened.
And he was a big yogurt enema lover, huh?
Yes. And it was actually, he really was. Kellogg loved to.
That's odd. They didn't say it. I was almost going to look up famous, like, because it said famous and infamous people all through time have used them, have been like, but I didn't really look up a lot. I saw what they listed, like King Louis and Hitler were two that they said. But anyway, the enema will cure you. But the thing is, they were like totally looking past high blood pressure, tuberculosis, any symptoms, and just everything was from your poop. They thought everything that made you sick came from inside you and not from outside. So they thought to cure you to get the gunk out of you, which in a way you can understand. Like, poop is gross and it's stinky and awful. Yeah. And it makes sense that you might think that, but it was the poop on the outside that was killing
you. You need to do a bonus episode for our Patreons about John Kellogg, because he invented cereal, but he also had his Battle Creek Sanitarium, where treatments included 15 quart enemas and electric currents to the eyeballs.
15 quart enemas?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yep. And cornflakes. Lots of cornflakes.
That sounds like my nightmare.
He had a mustache.
It doesn't think it's your face, Margaret. I can't see it. She's holding it up to her face like it's gonna help. I can't see it.
He has the most glorious mustache I've ever seen. It's one of them. It's up there.
Well, I will. That'll be my bonus episode for our Patreon.
Yeah.
Kellogg and his yogurt enemas. So, I actually realized after I was reading this that this is a book you get stuff from the Quackery.
Yes.
That's where I got that from. And I looked up some other articles, but that was where most of it came from. Quackery, the brief history of the worst ways to cure everything.
Yeah, I get a lot of my topics from that. It's a great book.
It's a great book. So that's my terrible choice.
My stuff, Colleen.
I knew you were going to say that. Say out my book. Too late. I was in there. I was all up in it. Anyway, we are going to be at AcreCon August 20th and 21st. We don't know which day we're recording our live episode on, so you should make sure that you're there on that day and you're following us on Facebook and Instagram so you know what day it is. We want to share with you once we find out.
If you'd like to send us a weird story or just reach out and say hi, our email is thecousinsweird@gmail.com.
And we're Patreon people now. So we have patreon.com/thecousinsweird. Do you know what Patreon is? Patreon is a way you can support our podcast. So for $1 a month, you're going to get a bonus episodes, and you'll get a free sticker. And then you'll be a freaky friend. And then for $5 a month, you're a terrible trender. And you get bonus episodes, you get a sticker, you get a free yearly gift, you get ad-free episodes, and a monthly chat with us. So that's patreon.com/thecousinsweird. Make sure you check that out. And of course, as always, the best way to support our podcast is to share us on your social media. Tell your friends about us, because if you're listening and like it, your friends are gonna too.
Yes,
so the more you share us, the better chances of people listening.
Yes, and don't forget to rate us on your favorite podcast platform, because then it gets them able to recommend us to other people. Also go to Facebook and give us a review or a rating. That helps too.
Yeah.
Every little bit. Like our posts, our page, all that.
Like us. We appreciate all the support you guys give us. We think you're awesome and we love you. And that's all I got.
All right. Stay freaky.
Bye.
Bye.